Hi, I'm Paul and this is Lee. Welcome to the Just Pull the Trigger podcast.
This is the show that discusses the trials, tribulations and triumphs of a small business owner. In this episode, we're sitting down with European Tour professional golfer, now turned business owner, Richard McEvoy. We discuss the highs and lows of touring life and the mindset that aligns with running your own business. Let's get to it. It's Just Pull the Trigger.
Rich,
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you, mate.
I've been really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, definitely.
I said to you earlier on, because I know you, and we've grown up together, when you're talking to someone you don't know, you've got to kind of research them, haven't you?
Yeah.
And you've got to know what they're going to say. Like, you've really got to be listening to what they say and like react to it. I'm not going to have to do that with you because I just know you.
Yeah, it's quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, going back, how did you first actually get into golf?
Well, two things really. So my dad was a school teacher at in Chelmsford. One of the other teachers was a very keen golfer, and I think my dad in conversation kind of said that I was involved in a lot of other sports. Football, tennis were kind of my two sports back then, really. So I was kind of 11, just starting kind of senior school, 10, 11, and Dad got given a cut down club for me. I started hitting balls over the park, where I used to live when I was a kid, close to the park and stuff. Big field there, so just started hitting balls over the field, enjoyed it. Lee Jarvis, another old friend of ours. Lived round the corner. He was kind of one of my oldest friends and very sporty as well. We played football together and all sorts of shoot with boys and all kinds of stuff back then. So, we ended up kind of getting into golf together, hitting balls over the park and stuff because we were both local to the park there. And then a membership became available at a club really out by chance at Thorpe Hall, because my brother, who's 5 years older than me, was going to join at the time. And then last minute kind of decided not to. And it came then down to me, kind of mum and dad chatted to me and said, you're quite enjoying golf. Do you want to join instead? So I ended up joining instead.
Okay.
So that was my first year. I was 10 or 11 at the time, first year of senior school.
It's quite an early start because, I don't know about you, but we got in about 13, 14.
No, I think you got in and then I was obviously I'm 4 years younger than you. So I just kind of, as soon as I started senior school, I wanted to join and Dad was like, no, don't. Not a bit older.
Well, yes and no. So nowadays it's really late because of the accessibility of the game now.
Yeah, of course,
Junior club and those kind of things. So we'll talk about Ollie as well, but my son Ollie now very different obviously because I was a golfer. But parents now bring kids along at 5 or 6 years old.
They're integrating them into schools now, aren't they? The golf lessons.
So the junior golf is becoming a lot earlier now with the way that they can bring. Golf Foundation have done an amazing job with that. We're bringing that into schools, plastic clubs, big balls, big club heads to make it easier, make it a bit more fun, with sticky balls that go onto walls and all this kind of stuff. Really good fun. And then, the kids come to, a lot of the pros now do, Johnny F used to do it at Thorpe, has moved on now, obviously, and now Dan at the club does it. But, starting kids' junior lessons a lot earlier. They do starter lessons and do different sessions for different standards of kids and so on. And they're growing up in an environment with other kids their own age, other kids the same kind of standard as them, which is really nice. So it starts earlier now, compared to what it did when we were kids. I mean, we just had cut down adult clubs, didn't we?
Women's clubs,
which were terrible for you. Far too heavy.
The technology wasn't like advanced then, wasn't it? Really?
Exactly.
It was like maybe you did go. You could go to get them fitted, but it just wasn't the done thing, was it? It's just like here's your. I think I started with just 2 clubs. A putter and a 7-iron and a wedge or something.
Yeah. And it was always the same. And we're talking 35 years ago, aren't we? So it's very different. It makes us feel different. But that's the way it was, wasn't it? Yeah. So very different nowadays compared to what it was then.
But I always think back, I said this on other podcasts, is that it was like my real life education because you are rubbing shoulders with guys, I know people might not know his name, but like Gordon, people that are successful and they want to talk to you because you're good at golf or you're interested in golf. Whereas other kids that I went to school with might have been just smoking down the park or something, It was like my proper education rather than. I was never really good at school anyway.
Yeah, it builds social skills,
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
You have to learn to be able to talk to adults, and you see it now still as well. I see Ollie at his age at 15 now. He's turned 15, and he's unbelievably good at being able to speak to adults. There's a skill to it, right? And you see other kids of his age, and they're just on their phones or on tablets, and they look down. They try to avoid any kind of contact with adults, really, to a certain degree, don't they?
Yeah.
And I think the game of golf and being involved at a golf club with adults around you, with certain rules involved and so on, it's brilliant for children growing up and meeting people. You know, so many of our friends got jobs in the city because of who you knew, rather than how good you were at certain things or what you did at school. And it builds relationships, in other words, in other areas as well as golf. You know, I'm still friendly with people that are now in their 80s.
Of course, yeah.
And that's one of the most amazing things about golf as well, is that a 12-year-old kid can play with someone who's 85.
Yeah.
And because of the handicap system, it works.
Yeah, like the age thing goes out the window, doesn't it?
Yeah,
You know, you just become mates with someone. You caddy for someone, and you're 15 and they're 62.
Yeah.
There is no. I'm not going to say there's no other walk of life where you could do that, but it's quite rare that you see that, right?
Yeah, there's an unbelievable leveler as well. Like you got there's no sort of you know, they're not looking down on you, because you're brought onto this same level playing field with them. And I like you said, it's a massive education, isn't it? And also, I think as a parent as well, like when you had summers down there, like dropping your kids off there for like 12 hours a day.
Our parents had it off, didn't they? 100 quid a year just to go, here you go.
Yeah, he used to give you a couple of quid to spend on a bowl of chips or something at that time. And
it's mad, isn't it?
And you spent 3 hours on a putting green, didn't you? Just going round and round on a putting green until you could play at your certain hours when you were allowed to, and those kind of things. But you were there. Got you there at 9 o'clock in the morning, picked you up at 7 o'clock at night.
You weren't going anywhere, were you?
No. You're right. It's generally a very safe place to be in. It still is to a certain degree, which is great. So
I was thinking back, if this is going to sound a bit personal, but if I ever beat you, and I think I did.
Definitely.
I did. But come on, it weren't off scratch, was it?
No, I think it probably was.
I don't think it was, mate.
You were a decent golfer back then.
I was a good golfer, but we'll talk about this in a minute. But I'm pretty sure it was like I was off 8, you were off 1, and I beat you in some one-on-one or something.
Yeah. So quite interestingly, right? So when I was a junior, I chat to a lot of parents about this now because of Ollie. I actually wasn't brilliant leading through. So all of my good golf came later on.
When you say later on, like...
Well, I was a decent golfer,
from 16 onwards or something like that.
Because even higher.
Right.
So England-wise and actually getting noticed, it wasn't until I was kind of 18...
Really?
18 plus, really.
I remember that.
I played a lot of county stuff. I played for the county through boys golf and so on, but I never played any England golf stuff when I was a boy. And I more came through in that youth stage of being 18 to 21. So that was where I really took off. So 1999 was my biggest year as an amateur. Where I got to the semi-final of British Amateur, and that was my kind of breakthrough year to get into loads of stuff moving forward through to 2001 and turning pro. But in those early stages, yes, I played county stuff, and I was a decent player in the county, but I never played kind of national level. I never played for England. I never was even noticed, I don't think, as at that England level until after boys. And I think that the way that it's set up now is a little bit different with regional squads and so on. Whereas in those days they had one elite squad. I think they maybe had a boys squad and a men's elite squad.
Right.
But nowadays they have regional squads for all different age groups all the way through. And then they then feed into the elite squad as well, which is a kind of different process of it all now. But I definitely, I didn't win that much as a kid. As a junior, I won locally. I won, at the club and within the county. But most of my good results and big tournament wins and so on were later on.
Because I just remember, maybe it's because I was just in that bubble of Thorpe Hall. It was just like, oh, McEvoy's the person to beat. Oh, you know, you play McEvoy, you're losing.
Yeah.
That sort of thing, you know. So that's sort of like, maybe I've got a short memory or something, I don't know.
Well, we had a good junior section, didn't we?
We did.
So we had a lot of really good players.
Yeah, we did.
And we were all very close-knit.
We were all very close.
Played a lot of golf together.
So much bands going on.
Yeah, it was brilliant fun. Yeah.
I think a lot of people, though, now must look at Thorpe Hall and go, what is going on down there? Because...
Do we want to get into that?
No. No. In terms of the quality of young golfers that you produce, like yourself, got Matt Southgate, and you sort of, it's quite a small club, like in the...
Yeah, the history of how it works.
And Banalak as well. And you've got to think, what are they doing there?
Yeah,
produce this amount of talent.
Something in the world.
Lee Jefford.
Essex golf in general is like that.
Oh, is it?
So Essex produces a lot of really good golfers.
Right.
And it's probably one of the worst counties for practice facilities, standard of golf courses, that kind of thing. So there are theories behind that, really. My theories is that when you grow up, because the lack of practice facilities, you're actually just learning to play the game of golf.
Right.
So you learn how to get it around a golf course.
So you're not on a range for 8 hours a day.
You're playing more rather than being on a range. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Right.
And the more modern golfer nowadays, they have a mix of both, but a lot of it is built on a practice range, in a sim room, those kind of things. So you're looking at numbers constantly. Whereas in the old days, and still to a certain degree now, you were built, Essex golfers were built from playing golf and getting around a golf course in as low a number as you can, which is golf, which is the way it should be. And it wasn't about who was the best ball striker and all this kind of stuff. It was about who can get it around in the lowest score.
Absolutely.
And that is, at the end of the day, what golf is.
Yeah. I mean, when we used to play, like, sometimes there was players that they weren't really great tee to green, but they just one putted every green. It's just so frustrating playing against them.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But
and
again,
it golf, down. Absolutely.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how you do it.
No.
There's no pictures on the scorecard,
no,
right? Which is what I love telling kids nowadays. Like, don't worry about how you hit it a lot of the time. You just got to get it around in a number.
Yeah.
And trying to explain that to kids now is like, right, you're not... The amount of time you're going to have your A game is so minimal that you have to learn how to play with a B, C, D, even E game kind of thing. You know, you've got to have all of these different brackets covered. So... a lot of the time, the best players in the world are the best players in the world because they deal with how they play when they play poorly.
Course management.
They can still score.
Yeah.
So you look at all the best players now. Scotty Scheffler is one of the unbelievable people for that now. Half the time he looks like he's hitting it all over the place, but still gets it around, still wins golf tournaments.
It's just mindset, consistency, or
a bit of both. Bit of mindset for sure, but also just knowing that. The fact that you're not going to have your best all the time and you've got to deal with it. And it's how you deal with it that makes you the better player, really.
So it's kind of like no one's going to live in their A game area. It's just how much you can live in the higher BC sort of area without and comfortably being in that way. Yeah,
absolutely. So when I came onto tour, an old friend said to me, Mac, you're going to earn... You got to think of it this way. You will earn 90% of your points in 10% of your tournaments. Yeah. So in other words, you have really good weeks and you have to take advantage of those. The other 90% of the tournaments are kind of just dealing with your bad play, monitoring it, and just kind of pushing through and earning points here and there. And, you mentioned it earlier. Yeah. You can play crap for 51 weeks of the year. And have one good week, you win, and you get your 1 year, 2 year exemption on tour, whatever it is, and then you can kind of build from that. And again, people remember those days and that 1 week win rather than the other 51 weeks, and that's it. Yeah,
it's a bit like I make this comparison quite a lot about being a business owner and golf, because it's like, I know this is an entrepreneur podcast and all that, but it's 10% sort of like glory and 90% just putting fires out all the
grinding
time. Putting fires out all the time. There's always something that goes wrong. You've got to sort out, problem solve it, and it's the same on a course when you're I don't know, you're up against the bunker and you've got to think, what have I got to do here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of similarities in that. It's probably sportsmen in general and businessmen.
Yeah. individual sports in particular.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're playing team sports, you've got people around you.
Bit of a shared experience.
Yeah,
isn't
you
it?
can be crap and everyone else can be brilliant, and you don't get
You're
seen as
brilliant.
being poor. Yeah, everyone's brilliant, aren't they? Because it's team.
Yeah.
Whereas that individual environment of playing golf, and golf in particular being the harshest in many ways, because every week you can go away and you can miss cut after cut after cut, and you're spending $2.5 to $3 a week on expenses, and you don't earn a penny.
Yeah.
There's no other sport in the world that does that. Every time tennis, whatever other individual, snooker, whatever it is, you lose in the first round, you still get a little bit of bunts to help with your expenses and so on. Golf's not like that.
So it's literally missing cuts, nothing.
Yeah. It's starting to change a little bit now with the live product coming into play, and so tours are having to, at the end of the day, if a player turns up at a tournament, they're there for 2 days. 20,000 people come through the gate on those first 2 days, and they want to watch that person. So you're still providing a product.
Yes,
that person's still providing a product for those people to watch. And for that person to not go away with anything after 2 days is very, very harsh. So there are things coming into play now where, yes, they're putting in very small, but enough just to kind of cover a little bit of expenses and so on. So it is changing, yes.
I think that's fair.
Absolutely is, yeah.
Because the pressure that must, and also when you really think about it, mental health, right? That must build on. I'm thinking about journeyman pros or whatever, that they're literally spending money to play, and literally at points putting for their mortgage.
Yeah, I've been there and done that. I've had so I'm quite happy to talk about it. I've had times where I've signed over my a property to the bank because I was in so much debt because of playing golf. 20 grand's worth of debt, and the bank is kind of saying, right, well, you're still paying us a mortgage. Where's this money coming from? Right, so I got to sign over, my part of the property to the bank, the equity, just in case. And you end up, and a lot of people are like that. A lot of people are good players and have to fall out of the game because
give up because they
can't afford it. Because they can't take those risks. So actually, golf in many ways loses a lot of really good players at times.
Yeah,
just through necessity.
Yeah, just because they can't afford to do it anymore. Yeah,
sad, isn't it? Really?
It's really sad. Yeah.
I never really thought of that.
And I was just thinking about it. I was like, how do you go to the bank and go, I want a mortgage on this property, and they go, well, what's your sort of pay like? You go, well,
I've been spending £3,000 a week. I've been spending £3,000 a week for the last 20 weeks.
Exactly, yeah. And I haven't earned a penny. It is hard. It's hard to get a mortgage, being you're self-employed, obviously. But you've got a very up and down income, which is really, really hard. So, but mentally, certain banks will do it. But
mentally, that's got to be really just so tough. When you've got, especially when you've got family at home.
Yeah. A couple of things really. It builds patience and it builds massive resilience. Because you have to deal with those situations. Because again, trying to talk to the kids about it now, you're going to go through a lot more of those weeks than you are the good ones. So it's how you deal with the bad weeks and move on. I was very quick at, I've had a shit week. Don't matter. Let's move on. Next week's next week. It's a different week, totally. Tomorrow's a different day. And I was always one of them people that always could kind of forget about the thing that had happened the week before and just crack on, really.
But that's a great mindset. I'm sure there's for every one of those, there's probably 9 that are not like that.
Absolutely, yeah. You've got to have a good mindset,
of course,
because it is because it's such a harsh game. My resilience through, but the bad times, moving into the good times. When social media came, and I had tons of shitty messages from people saying, I've lost a load of money on you. Why are you still playing? You're crap at this game, and all this kind of thing.
Oh, through betting.
Betting, those kind of things. Instagram posts. You're rubbish. Why are you still playing? And I kind of laughed them off really, and just got on with it, because I had that kind of inner belief that I was still good enough. And thank God I did, because this was before I really had my best years. It's a lot of it is about self-belief and resilience. having those people, the right team of people around you to help you push through the bad times. My family, my parents have always been amazing in the sense of supporting me in any way I did. They weren't golfers. My dad plays occasionally now, but he's pretty poor. he was never talented at it. But they were, in anything I did when I was a kid, they were very supportive in just trying to give me the guidance, in never pushy, just always wherever I needed to be. They were always very helpful in trying to get me there to try and help. And I'm trying to learn from that as a parent now in dealing with that with my children now. And you do see a lot of pushy parents trying to push kids into the direction of it. And I saw it a lot when I was a kid growing up, with certain players in particular who had all the talent in the world, but had the parents that were trying to push them in one direction,
Right.
i.e. to be a professional golfer or whatever they wanted to be. And they fell out of love with the game because of it. Nothing to do with golf.
Just
more
pressure
to
on
do
them,
with the
too
pressure
pressure.
on them. Yeah.
Pressure too early.
Yeah. Why did you hit that shot?
Yeah.
You see it now at tournaments and stuff where parents are involved in conversations with kids halfway round or straight away after the tournament's finished. Why did you hit that bad shot on that hole? They're not fucking mean.
What sort of question is that? Yeah.
Do you think they want to stand there and hit a bad golf shot and make them feel shit themselves? It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You need to give them the the back in.
Yeah.
And then
Let them express themselves.
let them express themselves later on. Yeah, absolutely. Let them deal with it. Try and deal with it individually, and then give them the support of, right, what happened on those holes? How are we going to deal with those bad shots? Is it? Do you think you need technical coaching, or do you think you need a little bit of mental coaching in the way that you're dealing with your processes, those kind of things? What is it that you actually need to improve and get rid of those bad shots? It's it's all these kind of on a day-to-day basis, all of these kind of things that you deal with outside of golf as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Sorry,
Anything that hits you.
The sandwich man outside.
Get down quickly.
So when you were obviously in those, the lower times, was there much psychological help back then? 'Cause though with obviously that's quite common now.
Yeah. If you wanted it, yes.
Oh, there was.
Yeah, there wasn't quite so many people available back then, probably. But yeah, I did a bit of work with a couple of guys. Yeah. One in particular really stood out. Andy was a great guy. We're just one of these people you just sit with, and they're just like really calming.
Calming influence, yeah.
Yeah, the way he talked, to the way he chatted. But he was a musician, actually, funny enough.
Is he?
He toured with like Simple Minds, and he was a
really?
session drummer. Yeah. He was unbelievable, and he was a music producer as well.
Cool.
And done some stuff with Robbie Williams and all sorts. He was a great guy, really good to listen to, and again, just very calming. And even just sitting there listening to him, he just kind of like zoned out and
Smoothing voice.
chilled. Yeah, and a lot of these people now, the same with anything in life. You just unload to them, don't you?
Yeah.
You give them all of your shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think it's good to talk to someone who you just don't know,
Yeah,
Totally.
absolutely.
rather than talk to your wife or your mum or dad or whatever. You're probably thinking you think less that they're going to judge you, maybe.
Yeah, it's too much of an opinion. They know too much almost.
Yeah, it's actually very hard to speak to people that you're very close to sometimes, isn't it? Because you're worried about what they'll think of you, or you'll like chuck a bombshell on them or whatever it is, won't you? Sometimes, and actually you don't.
Freak out, and make it worse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in a certain way. Yeah.
They're much more impartial, aren't they?
Yeah. And I think a lot of the time when I was growing up, I kind of held a lot of shit in as well, and I dealt with a lot of stuff myself. Whereas I probably would have been better speaking to people about it to a certain degree.
So did you have to ask for it back then? Whereas now, is it more? I don't know. Is it more? Just they have they have a coach each player that helps them.
Yeah. So not everyone will have a sports psychologist, but I think a lot of people will have one in the background if they needed them. Yes. So they're not involved on a daily basis or a weekly basis like a swing coach or a caddy would be, kind of thing. But yeah, they'll definitely be there in the background if they needed someone, for sure. And I think kind of growing up now as well, it's actually part of. It's probably quite an old cliche kind of thing, isn't it? That if you talk about your in the old days, you were kind of it was seen as a weakness, wasn't it? To talk about your weaknesses and the bad things that you were thinking about and the bad things that were happening. Whereas now, actually, it's not, is it? No. It's very much part of life now, and you have to chat about stuff.
I think
talking's good.
Yeah,
right? That's the way everyone kind of looks at it now. Not everyone, but that's the way everyone should look at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Whereas in the old days, it wasn't like that.
Everyone needs a therapist, even if you're all right.
Yeah.
Still,
or even if it's not a therapist, just someone to talk to.
I've got a soundboard of some sort.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be a professional.
No.
It can just be someone that can listen and be understanding of what's going on.
I think it is. It's just listening and hearing and just, not always offering that opinion. Just someone like a soundboard. But because obviously back then, like sports psychology is just everywhere now, isn't it? It's part of the bigger team around them.
Yeah. So nowadays, I think that would probably be built into kind of England squads and even county squads to a certain degree, where they'll have that option of speaking to someone if needed, and moving forward. That's kind of there then all the time, isn't it? It's just part of the way, like you said, it's part of life now.
Did you have that because you have like a management company and things like that, or is that just?
Yeah, so when I turned pro, I signed with IMG, which was having like a really good amateur career, like I did through the end, that last couple of years in particular. I got signed by IMG, who were at the time the biggest kind of management company in the world. Had some unbelievable names on their cards and so on their books. Just seemed like the right people to sign with, for the right opportunities for me moving forward and so on. Looking back at it, probably they were very good, but actually I was kind of more of a small fish in a bigger pond, and I probably needed someone that was more of a smaller company that
hand
might
on the
have
shoulder
been a little bit more, a little bit more individual. They were brilliant. My manager Brendan was fantastic at the time. He was a great guy, and he's now at another company now, heading up that company as well. So I'm not saying they were bad whatsoever, but I think for me, looking back at it, for me at that particular stage of time, they probably might not have been the right company for me to sign with at that particular time. But you never know when you're new to the game.
Exactly.
You're just turning pro. It's all very exciting.
Yeah.
The biggest company, sports management company in the world, come to you and say, "We'd like to sign you." You're going to jump at that chance most of the time, aren't you?
Was that a catalyst for you to turn pro, or you'd already made the decision to turn pro and then they managed you?
Yes. Yeah, so I'd already made the decision to turn pro after playing the Walker Cup in end of 2001.
I remember actually, you said literally before the tournament, you said you were going to turn pro afterwards.
And it's kind of what a lot of people would do nowadays. If you're kind of in that position where you're going to turn pro, after you've done everything that you maybe could achieve, i.e., I've won a couple of big tournaments. I played for England all the way through, and then I played for Great Britain and Ireland at the end in the biggest event amateur-wise that you could do as a GBNI player. It seemed like the right moment for me to turn pro. Yeah.
And was there any? I'll probably know the answer to this question. Is there any? What's your standout moment?
As an amateur?
No, in just in golf.
In golf in general?
Maybe it's not what I think it is, but maybe I'm imagining it probably is.
No, it came in 2018. So this is where golf is so strange in many ways. Yeah. So I was, a very good player, turning pro, end of 2001, turned pro. 17 years later, my best moment came in golf.
Yeah.
European Open in Germany.
Yeah.
And I lifted the trophy there, obviously, to win my first European Tour event. Incredible, right?
Yeah.
But 17 years after I kind of turned pro, so it just shows really, where is your peak? Where's your peak moment of actually? And I can definitely say that week in particular. So I had a great run of tournaments leading up to that.
Yeah.
2018 was an incredible year for me. I won a massive pro-am at Queenwood, in a beautiful golf course around in Surrey.
Yeah.
With the likes of Rory playing, John Rahm, Adam Scott, loads of other.
Was that still
pros,
even if it was a pro-am?
Yeah, it still exists. Yeah, they still have it as it's like a big members. So Queenwood is an amazing members club that a lot of the top pros are members at, because the facilities are so good and the condition of the golf course is amazing. Very, very exclusive. So I was lucky enough to get the invite to go and play in the pro-am, and it was a member and pro kind of pro-am. So you played with a member, with another pro, with another member. So it's two pros and
it's a four ball,
two AMs in each. So, and I was lucky enough to play with Billy Longmuir.
Oh yeah,
who I've known all the way through my career. And then,
Is that by fluke?
Another guy, yeah, well, kind of, I think, yeah. And another guy, Terry Crawley, who I knew really well as well. And then one of the other members. And I shot 64 that day, 8 under, and I beat all of this massive, great field of pro, world-class players. So that gave me a huge amount of confidence kind of going forward. And at the time, I was kind of in between tours. I was in between playing on the Challenge Tour and the main tour because I had rankings on both. So I then went out, I then played. So that was on the Monday one week. I then went and played in Italy that week on the Challenge Tour. And I made the cut and I had a half decent finish, mid-20s, I think, in Italy. I then went to France the following week on the Challenge Tour and I won. So I won on the Challenge Tour that second week. So I won at Queenwood, won on the Challenge Tour the following week. So I'm kind of stepping up as we go along. Nice. And the following week, I was into the European Open in Germany, which was a main tour event. And I was nearly in a situation where, because I'd won on Challenge Tour the previous week, shall I play next week? Shall I concentrate now on Challenge Tour because I'm in between tours? What's my best way of getting a European Tour card back for the following year? In other words, that's the way you have to think.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I got to a place where I kind of said, well, I've booked everything up for the following week. I'll just go and play.
Yeah.
And then I can go back to Challenge Tour the week after if I need to, kind of thing. And then things massively changed again because I went out and won.
Yeah.
So I've then gone from Challenge Tour winner to European Tour winner to then having a 2-year exemption on European Tour.
Yeah.
So amazing how just in that 3-week bracket of weeks, I won Queenwood, I won Challenge Tour, I won European Tour, and then my life's completely changed in 3 weeks, in other words.
Yeah.
And you quite could have easily have just gone, oh no, I'll probably sit that one out.
Yeah.
Man.
Exactly, yeah. So I could have quite easily gone, I've paid to do that, but probably the best thing to do is actually for me to go and play Challenge Tour again this week. I'll sack off.
So you're saying the smarter play would probably have been to at that point. Now, putting aside that you knew you won now. Yeah. The smarter thing, it was a risk playing the European Tour. Right?
Kind of. It was a risk, yeah. But I was in a great place, obviously, mentally. I definitely wasn't even thinking about going and winning. That's for sure. I was more thinking about I can go and have a really good week, and then I go back and play Challenge Tour next week. And it was more of a case of I've already booked them, everything is done, I've got a caddy sorted and all this kind of stuff. I'll just go and play. And so amazing in the sense that sometimes when you least expect it, things come at you. Yeah?
I remember watching it, and it was like in my house. It was like, who was you were up against? Oh my God,
Bryson, wasn't it?
Bryson,
Yeah,
right?
Bryson, yeah.
We were, every time he was like over the ball, I was just shouting, "Shank it!"
You think he can hear you?
Yeah.
Obviously not. It's just, when you're just like, I don't know, when there's penalties or something, and it's England, you're just going, miss it, just sending bad thoughts.
Yeah.
And then a couple of times, I think he hit in the water, and I was like, that was me.
Yeah. It was an interesting weekend. Yeah, so I was leading after 2 days. And spent the whole weekend with him in a 2-ball last group for the last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And he was an interesting character. So that was just before he done his massive bulk up to try and hit miles.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
He was a very good player. He was fairly new.
He's a bit of a head off at that point, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a loose cannon.
Yeah.
Very quite childish in many ways. Grown up a lot since. I've seen him since, and he's and what he's doing for golf now with producing, doing his YouTube channel, all this kind of stuff is fantastic. But at the time, yes, he was a bit of a loose cannon, and things have changed for him since then. Obviously, being a major champion and moving forward and playing live and so on now. Yeah, but
the last 9 holes of that event was that pressure you'd never felt before, especially considering. Don't want to keep saying the 17 years, that you hadn't won or whatever. Was that something, or did you block it out, or
Yes and no. So I didn't really feel the pressure, to be honest, because I was in a bit of a win-win situation with where I was, I suppose, having won the previous week on Challenge Tour and so on. So my position was in a good place, in other words, with if I needed to fall back to Challenge Tour, I was in a great position moving forward there. I suppose mentally, dealing with the process of the back nine, and they say that tournaments start on the back nine on the Sunday and stuff, don't they? Especially when you're in contention. And I I was so in control of my game and so on. I was playing some great golf. The golf course was the least. If you looked at picking a golf course for me, that is the last one you would pick where I won at Green Eagle.
Why?
It's the longest golf course on tour.
Right, okay.
I am one of the shortest.
Right.
On average.
Yeah.
It just, but that week in particular, it kind of suited me to a certain degree. My wedge play was unbelievable. My confidence was sky high. I was putting fantastic. I was driving the ball great. So I was kind of getting in play all the time, giving myself in positions. The par fives, I think there was probably only one on the whole golf course. And it's got 5 par fives, I think, from memory. 5 par fives, I think. And all of them were layup holes.
Right.
But because I was driving the ball straight, I was getting myself in position. My pitching was so good, I was making a lot of birdies on them. So I knew that I kind of just trusted what I was doing with my game plan and so on. Didn't get affected by other people around me, i.e. Bryson, who was in at 50 yards past me, these kind of things. And I just kind of got on with it, really. So I was in a position where I was just playing my own game. And I've always been a scoreboard watcher, because I like to know what's going on around me, and I've never quite got that when people say they don't look at scoreboard.
Yeah, I
just get on with it, get on with what they're doing.
Because
You want, in certain situations like that, in particular, the back nine of a tournament, when you think you're around the lead, I want to know where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know whether I need to push and make birdies, or whether I need to back off and just did it in the middle of the green and two putt. It's
Yeah, you don't want to be like, oh, you've got 2 to win this, or then you're like, oh no, I'm going to go for it. Sort of like,
exactly,
it's like,
yeah, at
gotta
times
know,
you
haven't
need to
you?
know in my
Yeah.
head, yeah. And I've always been that kind of person. But yeah, those last few holes, I can honestly say, and the last putt in particular, where I laid up on the last.
Yeah.
I was tied for the lead playing the last. I laid up on the last, a par 5, and I had a nice yardage at about 104 yards, and I hit a good pitch shot, but actually I was a little bit disappointed with it looking back at it, and I was about 18 feet. Had a nice putt, right to left, and I stood over the putt, and I can honestly say I knew I was going to hold it.
Really?
Just knew. Had this sixth sense that I knew I was going to hold it. And I was the calmest I've ever been in that kind of situation.
Did you have 2 through it at that point?
No, I had to hold it.
Did you have to hold it?
I had to make birdie to win.
Okay.
And as soon as I hit this putt, I'm like, that's in.
wow.
I just knew straight away. It was unbelievable.
That's like
I was in my zone in
Yeah.
my head, and nothing was affecting that.
manifestation, almost.
Yeah, it was just unbelievable. It was really weird, really, really weird. And everything was in slow mo. Like the ball came off the putter face in slow mo, and I could just see it tracking to the hole in slow mo. And it was the perfect putt. Went in at a beautiful pace, right in the middle of the hole. And it had a good kind of foot of break on it as well. But and then celebrations, unbelievable. But looking back at it, it was such a cool situation to be in, and an incredible moment in my career, obviously. Yeah.
I was going to say, there must be a quite high percentage of tour players that just don't win, obviously.
Huge amount, yeah. Like you said earlier, journeyman pros. There's a huge amount of journeyman pros that earn millions of pounds.
Just through consistency. But
Well, there's one in America at the moment, Cameron Young, and look at his details of what he's won. He's probably won $15 million, probably more, and he hasn't won. He just
top 20,
he will.
top
There's no
20.
doubt that he will. I'm sure, but there's so many people. Yeah, I mean, you look at all of the top players that Monty, for instance, he won 8 Order of Merits and so on. He was an unbelievable golfer in Europe. Never won a major.
Yeah.
You always would have thought that he would have won a major, but yeah, there's certain things that just don't come to certain people. But it doesn't make you a bad player. He just you can still be a good player with great results, but it not quite happen. Yeah.
so how long after you'd won that was there a pot like you'd achieved that, and did you think, oh, I'm on the time where I'm going to be thinking about, do you call it retirement, I guess, or just ending tour life, really?
Yeah, just going back just quickly.
Yeah, of course, yes.
So that last thing, if you think about how golf works, right? So if you can play your best golf one week, and because there's 155 other guys playing in that particular event,
Yeah.
you've always got a chance that someone else is actually just going to play better than you.
Yes.
And get the right breaks at the right
Luck,
time.
yeah,
So I can honestly say that week I won in Germany, I've definitely played better golf than that throughout a whole week. If you look at stats and so on, ball striking and that kind of thing. But I won that particular week, and I didn't win the other weeks when I played really well.
Yeah.
And that's just how golf works sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's how much of a strange game it is that you need those breaks at the right time. You need certain parts of your game to be on song, and you can play your best golf by a long way certain weeks of the year, and you still won't win it because other people might play better.
Going back to like you saying you had that run up to that, do you think that was the best you were ever playing, really, for
I
a
think
long period
it
of
was
time?
the best I was mentally by a long way because I was so confident in what I was doing. I just had huge self-belief in what I was doing at that particular time, and nothing was going to affect that. Yeah. So I think that was my strength at that particular time, was more the way that I was thinking on a golf course and how natural everything just came.
Even you talking about it, then you're like, oh, it was just almost like in that.
Yeah.
What do they call it? It's not tunnel vision, but it's sort of like,
I was
the
in my own
zone.
zone.
Yeah.
And again, nothing was going to affect that. Yeah, I was just in that zone of moving forward just by myself.
Yeah.
And no one or nothing was going to affect that. Yeah.
I think that's what they don't. Well, I'm sure they do it now, but like they didn't really. I felt I lacked that confidence because I think you might tell me otherwise, but I think once you get to a certain level, to a certain degree, everyone can beat everyone, right? And it's just who has the mentality to push on, right? When we go back into club golf, everyone in that Tournament Cup team, I could have beaten, right? But could I have beaten them consistently? Maybe not, because maybe they had a better mindset than me. So I think that's, especially with golf, because it's such a lonely sport, that needs to be almost like one of the priorities of like bettering yourself, surely.
Yeah, it's part of your armour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Having the self-belief, having the confidence.
You can hit it great on the range, but if you can't put it together on a course and you fall apart, then you're no good.
Yeah, I mean, you look at someone like Ian Poulter. Again, there's no doubt that there's been a lot better golfers than Ian, but you look at what he's achieved, and that is that so much of that is self-belief. Incredible, what he's done, Ryder Cup in particular, and all the tournament wins he's had and so on. But in that environment where under the highest amount of pressure playing Ryder Cup against America, he was like our best kind of stalwart in that particular time of going through that period, when he was unbelievable. He was unbeatable to a certain degree, even if he wasn't playing particularly well, because he really believed that he could still, he had that zone around him, that kind of bubble around him that was like, I don't care who I'm playing, I'm going to beat him.
Yeah. And on the reverse of
that, it was awesome, yeah.
Think about Van der Velde, surely that was come from some sort of mindset in his mind.
Yeah, I mean, God knows what was going through on that last hour at Carnoustie, but in a winning position like that, and we've all been there to a certain degree as well.
Have we?
Well, I know I have.
Yeah,
for sure. I've been in certain situations where I get ahead of myself, and it doesn't help at all. You've got to stay in that moment. You got to play each. Again, an old cliche, one shot at a time, and it's such an important thing to remember. But it's amazing. I don't know if he got ahead of himself or what. I've never spoken to John about it. I've known John for a long, long time, and I played a lot of golf with him actually over the years. Incredibly lovely guy, and hard thing to take though.
And it's a shame. That's the thing he's probably going to be most known for.
Exactly, yeah. And we said earlier, didn't we, that you don't really get remembered for not winning tournaments.
No,
but you do when you do something like that, when something like that happens.
Yeah. So your couple of quick fire ones. Favourite course?
Favourite golf course? Well, I suppose. I look at it as I love Thorpe. I've been there for a long, long time, obviously, but it's not my favourite golf course. So I think of this as, if I could play anywhere for the rest of my life, that would be my favourite golf course, and Sunnydale would be that for me.
Okay,
I love Sunnydale.
I wondered if it might have been from your experiences on certain courses.
No, not really.
Yeah.
No, more about the golf course that I want to play time after time after time. Yeah. And there's certain places that I would
Just
not
feel
get
like
bored
home
with.
sort of thing.
Yeah, you just feel at home.
It does.
yeah.
I know what you mean. I've
Yeah.
played there a couple of times.
Yeah.
It just oozes class, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's
And-
class.
And you can just go over the road and you're down Wentworth as well. You've got like
Yeah, you
so
know,
many nice places around there.
Yeah, Surrey's obviously blessed with so many good golf
Yeah.
courses, but yeah, Sunningdale for me would be amazing. Yeah,
Fave golfer?
Sevi.
Right.
Yeah, Sevi was awesome. Growing up, couldn't watch enough Sevi videos and TV. Yeah, and unfortunately, never got to play with him. I was at tournaments when I first turned pro, he was kind of just falling off tour. So I was at tournaments where he was there. So I've been on kind of practice areas and short game areas and stuff with him, played in the same tournaments, but never actually played with him, unfortunately. But yeah, he was my hero by a long way. Faldo as well, to a certain degree. You know, when you look at the era we grew up in, those
Ernie Els, I
players,
used to love Ernie Els.
Els with the rhythm,
Yeah.
you know, Faldo with the mindset and what he did as a player, winning, you know, the British Opens and the Masters and stuff when we were growing up and stuff. Yeah, so no, we grew up in a really cool time actually for people coming through, and then obviously Tiger came into play and changed golf completely to a certain degree, with prize funds and what we play for, and now obviously the physical side of things in golf and everything else that's involved with golf now. Yeah, so yeah, golf's changed a lot since Tiger. Yeah,
So that seems like a good time to move on to what you're doing now. So it's, I mean, I've been there. You haven't been there.
No, not yet.
Fantastic facility, right? And well, do you want to explain it? You probably got to explain it much better than I can.
Yeah. So through the last few years of my playing days, I was always looking for something to kind of go into and move on to the next kind of stage of my career and life, really. Unfortunately, with golf, when you play, obviously because it's done on how you perform, I always knew that I was kind of dropping off a little bit form wise. Young, you know, lads coming on 25 years younger than me and all this kind of stuff. So it was becoming harder and harder for me to keep my card and so on. So I was looking at different options and stuff to move into. And in my head, I've had this idea of building a practice facility with everything under one roof. So ideally, everything that we would get on a weekly basis on tour and giving it to the general public, in other words, being a practice ground, short game area, putting green, gym, the option of wellbeing facilities, and then other coaches around that. So a swing coach, a physio, and a PT in the gym, and so on, to be able to provide the best option of people a game improvement facility, in other words, for people to get as good as they could. And so the opportunity came up. I had a conversation with I've kind of had that in my head and had that design in my head for a long time, and then the opportunity, the conversation came into play January last year, start of 2024, where a guy that I met, who's now my business partner, Justin, I met him through the golf club, through our charity day.
Right, yeah.
And me and Matt done a day with he bought a day with me and Matt on the Friday of the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
To spend the day with six people, and me and Matt played 9 holes with each group. Anyway, fantastic day. Me and Justin got on really, really well, and we chatted a lot on that particular day. But then after that, he contacted me, and actually, I didn't even know at the time, he lives directly opposite to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
and I had
in
no
the
clue.
new house?
No, in the new house that we've been there for 4 years for now. And at the time, I had no idea that he lived there.
So he was there when you were. It's not like I've
I'd
moved
been there
and now
for
he's
4
there.
years, and he lived there the whole time. Yeah, and I'd
Did
never
you
ever seen him.
never met him?
No, I
Never
knew.
advised
So,
on him?
never met him. No.
Not even putting the bins out.
Yeah. Well, not everyone puts the bins out at the same time, do they? Busy road and so on. It's not a small kind of close or anything, you know, where you would know your neighbours and stuff.
But just to confirm, he's directly opposite you.
Yeah, pretty much direct.
over there.
Yeah, 100 yards away. His house. His front door.
He's a lob wedge over the road.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. So anyway, he contacted me and said, "I'd quite like to have a conversation with you about something. You know, any chance you can come over?" So I went over to his house. We had a chat for a couple of hours, and his idea was he had this facility in Shoebury, warehouse that wasn't really getting used. he was a massively keen golfer. He had his own bay out the back where he hit balls and so on, and practiced coming out of his office straight through the back into the warehouse and hit balls on a regular basis there. But he wanted to possibly do something with the whole area. Nice sized building. So I think the building was in total 80 foot by 40 foot. So a nice size.
Yeah.
So I mentioned a few bits and pieces, and then I kind of pitched the idea of building a kind of an academy with my ideas of having everything under one roof. And Justin's like, yeah, I really like that idea, yeah. How do we move forward with this kind of thing? I was like, wow, it's quite a cool thing. I've just pitched an idea that I've had in my head for years, and Justin wants to do it. So yeah, I went down and saw the facility, saw the size of the building, kind of planned out some bits and pieces in my head of what I wanted to do with the areas. And the key cool thing with it was that it was a blank canvas, really, because it was a warehouse. So there was no rooms that we had to knock down walls and so on. It was more adding walls if we needed to build certain rooms. So it's quite good in that sense that we had that facility to do that. And then, so the July of that year, we started build. I finished playing in June. So my last tournament, quite cool actually, was the European Open, going back to the venue where I won. My oldest Ollie caddied for me. Joe and Alex were there. So I kind of planned it as being my last event.
And that was what year?
Last year, 2024.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So last June I played my last event on the main tour. Quite an emotional kind of week, really, because I've going back to somewhere where I won. I've had some amazing memories, and then I was stopping playing. So it was quite cool. I think actually it was my 400th event on the European tour as well. So unbelievable how that worked out. That was going to be my last event as well. I've played loads of other events on the Challenge Tour as well, but on the European tour that was my 400th event. And then as soon as we'd finished there, I kind of had a few weeks of kind of dealing with emptying the warehouse, because it was kind of it was a building that just had loads of crap in it. Really.
Storage stuff.
It was storage space, storage racking down both walls either side and all the way down the middle. So we kind of probably went through 6, 7, 8 skips, whatever it was, to get rid of all this stuff. Some of the stuff was then taken away, and we then had a blank canvas. We had a nice clean room, and then we started build. And I brought in the kind of right people that I knew. Brett Taylor being one of them, an old friend of ours who now runs a business called Golfing Simulators, who build specific rooms for specific areas. So we've now got 3 bays in the main area, and this was never all on plans. This was all in my head.
Right.
So
you never drew out a plan or anything, or
sketched it.
Yeah.
And I kind of had an idea of where I wanted everything, but we kind of then looking at sizes and so on. So Justin very kindly let us had an area coming out of his offices where there was a spare office that had kind of computers in and storage space as well, which we then built toilet spaces in and shower rooms and so on.
A nice bath and stuff like that.
And then we built 2 spaces off of the main wall to build an infrared sauna room and a cold plunge. Which was our well-being side of things. And then three main bays in the main area, the gym opposite that, and then the other side, which was one of the cool things that nowhere else has got really, is an indoor short game area, which is really cool. So we had a company come in and build that for us, but again, kind of just chatted through designs when they turned up, and they were very comfortable with what I kind of wanted. But then kind of they added a couple of bits and pieces to it to make it a little bit better as well, which was cool. So kind of just done it all through chatting to people, really. And then we've got another area, built a physio space. We've got a kind of quiet area, office space, which is a chill out area kind of thing, upstairs as well, a waiting area. And then we had to take walls down. In one area in particular, we had to rip walls down. We had to take part of the area away to then build space for the putting area and for then the private bay out the back as well. And actually that side of it I loved going through the design of it and actually the build of it. I thought that was actually really cool.
Creating something that's just come out of your own head.
Yeah, just creating something out of nothing, really. Just something that's been a dream of mine in my head for years and years and years. And putting it into reality was a really cool thing to do, yeah. And now, and then we open in December.
Yeah.
And now we've got around 60 members, which is nice kind of place to come from. We're kind of 8 months in now.
Yeah.
We've got a membership facility, so it's not just to come in and use a facility. We've got a kind of door entry system, which the members have an app for, and so on, so they can let themselves in and out. We're open 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. So a really nice kind of time frame where some guys come in before work and then go off, have a shower, use the gym, hit balls, have a shower, go to work kind of thing. Some people coming in their lunch breaks. And then most people come at the moment during the week in particular, in the evenings.
In the evenings, yeah.
And I kind of float in and out a lot at the moment.
You do take care, or is it you take
so I'm coaching. Yeah, we've got a physio based on site, Sarah, and we've got a PT and a gym, Nat. And it all works well at the moment, and there's definitely improvements to be made. The membership needs to grow for us to be a sustainable business, and but we're in a pretty good place at the moment. And we're in a place where obviously this time of year, now being summer and the weather being most of the time better, people want to be outside, so it might not get the usage quite as much, but actually people, if they use it in the right way, so that my idea of it is actually, if you want to practice properly, you've got to use this facility. You want to make improvements, so you have to look at what you're looking at on the screens with the data that you get given through the sims and so on that we use. Going to the driving range, seeing ball flight and everything's great, but you don't get any feedback. No. Most driving ranges are crappy golf balls that just fly all over the place. You're hitting off not very nice mats.
Yeah.
And some of them have got like the top tracer kind of bits and pieces now. So you get some kind of idea of how far the ball's going, but the numbers aren't true. They're not actually that accurate to a certain degree. So if you want the best facility to practice at, that is what we've got, and that's what we've built. And if you want to make gains in your game in any area, whether it be fitness wise, whether it be putting, chipping, or hitting the golf ball better, stats wise, looking at your numbers and standing back and looking at that and trying to learn from it shot after shot, then that's what we've built.
I think there's two things that I got from it, is that even if you're not a golfer, right, there's not that many places, I'm sure there is, but there's not that many places that have got a gym and that recovery centre under the same roof, to be honest.
Yeah, it's usually a separate entity, isn't it?
Maybe you've got, maybe you've got David Lloyd doing it now or whatever, I don't know, but you don't really get gyms, especially in that sort of family gym environment, if you want to call it that, where you've got those facilities. And two, I always felt like people don't practice their putting enough. Everyone goes to the gym, beat balls, and I was probably got to a better standard through just putting, because I just thought to myself, it's probably like that sort of entrepreneur business mind. I was like, how do I get better than these people?
Yeah,
they're all hitting balls over there, but the actual name of the game is getting the ball in the hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So why are you not practicing getting the ball in the hole?
Yeah. Nearly half of the shots are on your scorecard are going to be on this. On this area.
And that's what blows my mind now. Right. So you look at things like that. So we haven't got a fitting centre in any way, but we have companies that come in. So we've got one next week. We've got a fitting for our members. And other people that want to come in. We have the tightest fitting day next week. We're hosting one there, and they'll come in and have. The bays will be used for the fitting, but also they have wedges around the short game area and putters in the putting area. We've got a couple. So the main thing that stands us out is the tech we use. Yeah. So we've got the tech in the main bays of the overhead sims and so on, which then give you the data on a very, very accurate scale. In the putting area, we've then got another tech called Putt View.
Yeah.
So this is giving you feedback. Every single putt you hit, it gives you feedback of what that putt does through tracing the putt on the putting green. And so you put it into certain areas. You can do drills on it. You can do certain practice routines and so on. But also you can just do random putts and just walk around the putting green as well. And it traces every single putt you hit. An unbelievable bit of kit. And there's, again, not many of them in the country that have this system. But yeah, it amazes me when you think of putting, for instance. Yeah, it's half of the game pretty much.
Yeah.
It's not the sexy part though, is it? No one cares.
Not the sexy part, no. But people will happily spend 500 quid on a driver
exactly.
Totally.
because it goes further, or because it's
And
better
their-
feel, or whatever.
And their putter is what their granddad gave them or something.
Yeah,
Who gets
and they
fitted for a
They have
putter?
a crappy old putter.
Yeah.
No one gets fitted for a putter, but yet it's the most used club in your bag, right? These kind of things are what I chat to people about on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And people start getting it into their head when you hear feedback, I suppose, from someone who's been there and done it, and you're getting told this kind of information that you might have thought about, but you kind of not. You're kind of just pushing it to the back of your mind. And just
Bit of a penny drop moment.
yeah,
Most
and actually people are like,
Actually.
shit, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and people see it like a lot of these new putters now, 500-600 quid to go and get fitted for a putter. But actually, it's the most important club in your bag.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
But they will not spend that whatsoever. They'll happily just buy something off a rack.
Yeah.
Because, that looks quite nice. I have that.
Yeah.
It might not be anything like what you should be using. It's mind-boggling, really, when you think about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing though.
But it's been really cool. Obviously, my pressures are now in other areas. My pressure was always playing golf, and now it's trying to run a business and knowing when to chill out a little bit, when to push it. For us, obviously, this time of year, you're not going to get people joining and stuff this time of year because they don't want to be inside in a room. Although some of the members have actually been using it in the correct way. We have really hot weather now, and because we've got aircon and stuff, it works really well. So people come in, it's trying to stand on a driving range or stand on a practice area, hitting balls in 30 plus degrees. You know, you're sweating your nuts off. He's not the best thing to be in.
Shady place to go, isn't it?
We've got an aircon in the room, which is obviously great for this time of year, but obviously great for heat in the winter as well. So we've got a temperature controlled kind of facility, which is great. So so it works well. But for me, it's just knowing I'm still learning in any way. I like feedback. I like people I say to all the members, if you've got any kind of feedback, positive or negative, that we can build from and make things better, then I'm happy. I'm not one of these people that I don't like negative feedback. I don't like anyone coming to me with feedback in a bad way is that's a positive for me.
Absolutely. Well, you probably learn from your guns to
I can
take
learn
things on the chin when when
absolutely.
things are negative.
I've had to do it through my whole career, of trying to learn from the negatives. And I'm trying to take that into running a business now. Well, and there's no doubt I'm going to do things wrong.
Always
Justin's there as a kind of sounding board now, which is great. He's run many successful businesses over the last years, and having him there to try and help me along the way is a great thing too.
I can't tell you how many times we've done something and cooked something up.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got to try these things, haven't you? Yeah.
If you don't take a shot, you're never going to do it, are you?
No, exactly. Yeah. You never know until you tried it, do you? If you've got something on your mind and you think that could work, and you try it and it don't work, then it don't work. And you try go back and do something different.
Try and guess all these things. Oh no, I'll think about that. I'll plan that a bit more. But you get so many iterations down the road. That's when you've learned more of it about what you need to do, rather than just.
That's why we called it that.
Yeah.
Just have a go.
Yeah. You got it sometimes, haven't you?
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
I've loved it.
Oh, one last
Really
thing.
cool.
Favourite quote, if you got one.
Quality, not quantity. Always been my favourite, and very much involved in any business, but golf massively. Always practice with quality rather than quantity. But it works throughout any business, I think. Yeah,
It's just your putting, quality putting.
Yeah. Oh, you just got to practice in the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, productive practice. Yeah. That's another thing that I say as well. They're actually quotes that I've got on the wall at the academy. Yeah, quality, not quantity, is definitely the one.
Cool.
Yeah.
And if someone wants to find the golf,
so we're on Instagram, richmac_golf_academy.
Yeah.
If you want to look us up. But other than that, we've got a website as well. Again, rmgacademy.co.uk. But yeah, we're based in Shoebury. If anyone's interested, my details are on the website or online. Just Google me or the academy, and you'll find details for coming down to see us. Yeah,
Yeah, like I said, it's a fantastic facility.
yeah.
And if you don't care about getting better at golf, don't go.
I was about to say, sounds like he's got everything else, even if you don't like it.
Yeah,
So there you go.
yeah. We've actually had a couple of people that have joined purely for the gym and the wellbeing facilities. Yeah,
But it really, honestly, like from when I went down there, like it's got everything. If you want to get better at golf and you're serious about it, like you say, you've got to have that quality practice.
yeah. You've got to do things right. Yeah, yeah. And that's
Thanks.
why we built this. Yeah.
Thanks again, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Really enjoyed it, boys. Thank you.